Whitebark are extraordinary trees that grace the wild alpine. Stalwart witnesses of time, these ancient beings connect us to one another, to nature, to wild places, and to adventure. When we visit their home, our hearts are open to the transformations that happen at the intersection of our passions and the power of the natural world. In the past 2 decades, from the Canadian Rockies to the Sierra Nevada, nearly half the mature whitebark have been lost. The story of whitebark's staggering decline has 3 characters. The first is a tiny predator, the mountain pine beetle, an insect native to the forest. The second is blister rust, a fungus not native that destroys the tree's circulatory system. And the third is us, humans, who introduced the blister rust and warmed the climate, allowing unchecked beetle population growth.
Its presence really reminds me of how fragile everything is and how fragile I am and what a wimp I am. I only spend a couple hours up there, but these trees have been up there for centuries, and I'd perish if I had to spend a day in the winter at the mountaintop like they do.
Colder than you can imagine. You don't have enough clothes. If you had everything, all the clothes you owned, you would, it wouldn't be enough. But you drop 30 feet into a whitebark pine stand, and all of a sudden, it's comfortable. It's a refuge, and they occupy the habitats that are the most important to, in my life, the high mountains, and they're such survivors. It's hard to put in words, but you can try.
Yeah, absolutely. There's still all sorts of wonderment, to capture and be a part of when we get into the backcountry.
What do you think about when you think about whitebark pines?
They offer great beauty.
Yeah.
They offer shelter. They nurture us with oxygen. One of the biggest things I feel like, especially whitebark, teach me is humility. To be in the presence of such ancient beings and to see the environment in which they survive in and just the quiet wonderment that they live out.
Those canopies hold snow much, much longer than like an open area in the high elevations. And we're all learning on these low snow years how important that is for water, for irrigators, for farming, for filling up the reservoirs, for filling up all our lakes and streams. It's really important to keep that snow up in the high elevations as long as possible.
Yeah, whitebark pine connect us in many ways to each other, to the environment, and to the impacts of climate change. And what I mean by that is they connect us to each other through the amazing experiences that we have in whitebark pine forests. Hands down, some of the best experiences of my life have been in whitebark pine forest with my best friends having the time of our lives. Those are irreplaceable experiences that I would wish everybody could have experiences like that. I know these are hard places to get to. That's also part of the reward. The benefits of whitebark pine to humans, I think, are largely cultural and spiritual. I think that we as scientists don't often recognize the intangible relationships that we have with whitebark pine, because it's a spectacular species and a spectacular location where we get to do some of the funnest things I know how to do. And so for me, it's integral to the experience of living and playing in the mountains.
Over the past 23 years of conservation work, I have fallen deeply in love with the whitebark. Whitebark need our help. As fellow backcountry lovers and travelers, I hope you will go into the Alpine, meet the whitebark, fall in love, and become stewards that care for them. The more people who can join me to speak for the trees, the better chance we have to save them.